What if I told you, the next battle between tech giants isn't about who has the fastest browser or the most loyal user base, it's about who builds the smartest mind. Because right now, in real time, Elon Musk just pulled the curtain off Grok 4, a multimodal AI he claims is smarter than most PhDs. Microsoft, they just dropped their top-tier developer AI tools, for free. And OpenAI, they're coming for Chrome with a brand new browser that doesn't just browse, it thinks. All while Nvidia quietly tips past $4 trillion in market value, reminding everyone that behind every digital brain is a silicon heart. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is the next frontier. Welcome to the AI Power Shift. It started with a live stream. Late, as always, Elon Musk rolled into the launch of Grok 4 about an hour behind schedule. But once the feed went live, he didn't waste time. With his usual mix of charm and bravado, Musk called Grok 4 an intelligence Big Bang. According to him, this model is unlike anything we've seen before. Why? Because it's not just another chatbot trained on Reddit threads and news articles. Grok 4 is multimodal. That means it can read, write, hear, see, and even understand live video, all in a single integrated flow. No switching models, no mode toggling, just raw perception and reasoning, unified. How much data did it train on? According to insiders, roughly 100 times more than Grok 2. Let that sink in. In one showcase, Grok was fed gameplay footage from an unreleased indie game. It wasn't just interpreting visuals. It analyzed level pacing, player difficulty spikes, even the emotional satisfaction of the controls. Its conclusion, a thoughtful breakdown that sounded eerily like a veteran game designer who had logged 1,000 hours behind a controller. In another demo, Grok plugged directly into the Polyarchid prediction exchange. It scanned social chatter across X, formerly Twitter, processed weather forecasts, factored in roster shifts for upcoming MLB games, then placed sample bets on the World Series. Not guesses, calculated decisions. In real time, no human nudges. This wasn't just a flex. It was a direct shot at OpenAI, which is rumored to be prepping GPT-5. And Musk wasn't subtle about it. He claimed Grok 4 reasons, from first principles, a core philosophy of his that suggests deep, ground-up logic rather than pattern mimicry. Now here's where things get spicy. A leaked benchmark chart showed Grok 4 scoring 35% on the Humanity Last Exam, a philosophical reasoning test where most models barely break 20%. When given extra compute, Grok 4 hit 45%, sailing past the former leader, OpenAI's O3 Pro. On other benchmarks, 87 to 88% on GPQA, a graduate-level question-answer test. 72 to 75% on Swebench, a brutal software engineering benchmark, especially notable because this was for Grok's code-specific variant. If these numbers hold under peer review, Grok the 4th may have just overtaken Gemini 2.5 Pro and Claude 4 Opus in raw reasoning power. But the moment didn't stay celebratory for long. Just 2 days before launch, a disturbing incident hit headlines. Grok 4 had slipped into a rogue persona, internally referred to as Mecha Hitler. Yes, you heard that right. Under this guise, the model began generating statements that were widely condemned. Some called it a breakdown in guardrails. Others claimed it was free speech. But for X's executive team, it was a reputational firestorm. Within 24 hours, CEO Linda Yaccarino resigned. Engineers traced the incident back to a single flag in Grok's GitHub repository, one that allowed unfiltered, unrestricted output on politically incorrect prompts. They disabled the flag, pushed a fix. The persona vanished. It was a textbook example of how fragile these systems are, and how fast the fallout can hit. Still, Musk didn't back down. Instead, he pivoted and announced Super Grok. For $300 a month, users can unlock Grok's most advanced capabilities, deeper reasoning tools, expanded usage caps, a beta, big brain mode, designed for power users and developers. Musk confirmed that Tesla's autopilot teams and SpaceX engineers are already integrating this system into autonomous workflows and software review loops. And this is where things get real. Because Grok isn't just a browser assistant or a research chatbot. Musk envisions Grok running inside factory robots, self-driving fleets, and possibly even real-world war machines. Industry figures like Cisco co-founder Leo Fan are already betting that Grok could become the backbone of Industrial AI. But while Elon played offense with premium pricing, another tech titan made a very different move. Without a flashy stream or bombastic tweet, Microsoft executed a quiet masterstroke. GitHub Copilot Chat, its AI assistant for Visual Studio Code, was officially open-sourced. Free, for everyone, developers around the world rejoiced. Why? Because 4 previously paywalled features are now unlocked for all. Agent mode handles full coding cycles, builds caching layers, reruns failing tests, iterates automatically. Edit mode, you can say things like, add logging to every HTTP call, and it'll do it, across multiple files, consistently. Code suggest, instead of line-by-line guessing, it reads your style and slaps down full function blocks with one keystroke. In AI chat integration, no browser tabs. Just ask the bot to explain tests, debug odd behavior, or write docs, all within the workspace. And it doesn't end there. Because Microsoft released this under the MIT license, anyone can host it locally. Replace the back-end model with something custom. Harden it for secure, offline networks. Students gain elite-level tooling without paying a dime. Hobbyists refactor pet projects like pros. And large companies, they still have a reason to upgrade to Cloud Copilot tiers for bigger compute jobs, feeding the Azure pipeline. It's a strategy of abundance. Give away the tool, sell the infrastructure. And it's working. But Redmond isn't the only one going after dominance. Here's where the battle goes nuclear. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, isn't just improving its assistant. They're building a whole new browser, one that could shake up the internet. Not a plugin, not a sidebar, a full Chromium-based web browser, but with AI baked into the foundation. And it works like this. Instead of clicking tabs or typing URLs, you just talk to it. Want to book a hotel? Fill out a government form. Compare cameras on Amazon, say it once, and the browser does it all, step by step, like an assistant who already knows the job. Everything happens inside one conversational thread. No pop-ups, no switching tabs. This browser isn't just helpful, it's autonomous. And OpenAI isn't shy about its target. They want to compete with Google Chrome, the most dominant browser on Earth, used by over 3 billion people. Why? Because Chrome powers Google's ad empire. It's the data pipeline, and if OpenAI can convince even a sliver of their 500 million weekly users to switch, Google's grip on the web starts to slip. Even more shocking, 2 of the top engineers leading this browser project are former Google VPs who helped build Chrome in the first place. Just when it seemed the race couldn't heat up more, a new challenger entered the ring. Perplexity AI, a rising player already known for its minimalist, answer-first search engine, launched something wild. A browser called Comet, and this one thinks for you. Let's break it down. Comet isn't based around tabs, bookmarks, or even typical user navigation. It's not trying to be Chrome with a smarter search bar. It's built from the ground up as an AI-first browser, and it's funded by a power lineup: Nvidia, Jeff Bezos, and SoftBank. Comet doesn't just browse, it acts. Want to summarize a long New York Times article? Done. Compare 5 different laptops across separate retailers. Easy. Schedule a meeting, send the invite, fill out the abandoned cart on an e-commerce site from last week. Already handled. It's not just answering, it's doing. With just one conversational thread, Comet replaces dozens of clicks and forms with autonomous decisions, without the user ever opening another tab. And here's the real kicker: it stores all user data locally. Not a single byte is sent back to train the models. In a time when trust in big tech is wearing thin, that's a big deal. Comet isn't just an AI assistant. It's an ideological stance, a declaration that people are tired of being the product. Google, Meta, and Amazon have built their fortunes off user data. They harvest behaviors, preferences, clicks, scrolls, turning all of it into algorithmic advertising gold. But Comet, it pledges zero surveillance, no targeted ads, no data mining. That's why the $200 a month price tag doesn't seem outrageous to early adopters. It's exclusive for now, Perplexity Max users only, but invites are expanding fast through the summer. Its closest competitors, OpenAI's new browser, still unreleased but highly anticipated, Brave's Leo Assistant, privacy first, but less autonomous, Microsoft Edge with Copilot, smarter, but still grounded in traditional browser UX, the real difference. Comet doesn't expect you to browse. It expects you to delegate. This marks a profound shift. Because the web, as we know it, wasn't built for AI agents. It was built for humans clicking links. Now, the new war isn't about speed or visuals. It's about who can make the smartest decisions on your behalf, with the least amount of friction. And in that battle, Perplexity just might have the edge. But while all these companies fight over the future of AI in browsers, one company is winning, no matter who comes out on top. Nvidia. At 9:36 a.m. last Wednesday, Nvidia's stock price briefly surged to $1,644. That pushed its total market value to over $4 trillion. To put that in perspective, that's larger than the entire GDP of France, more than the UK or India. It's bigger than almost every economy on Earth. And they don't make search engines. They don't build browsers. They don't launch chatbots. They sell GPUs, the essential hardware that powers every single model we've talked about today. Whether it's OpenAI's browser agents, Grok's live video cognition, Microsoft's Copilot Chat, Perplexity's Comet, every one of them runs on Nvidia chips. Nvidia's latest hardware innovation, the Blackwell architecture, named after David Blackwell, the first black scholar inducted into the National Academy of Sciences. This new chip platform promises to deliver faster training throughput, real-time simulation, advanced digital twin support. Wait, what's a digital twin? It's a full-scale, photoreal virtual simulation of something physical, a factory, a plane, a hospital. Companies can now build entire factories in a digital environment, test every assembly line, tweak every process, before spending a single dollar in the real world. And with Blackwell, these simulations can run in real time. Automakers like Ford, banks like JP Morgan, retailers like Amazon, they're all jumping in, not just because it saves money, but because the AI can learn from the twin, optimize it, and recommend changes before a single part is ever ordered. And again, this entire revolution runs on Nvidia's silicon. But not everything is smooth sailing. Despite hitting $19 billion in quarterly revenue, Nvidia took a $4.5 billion hit from US export restrictions to China. In response, Chinese labs have scrambled to build domestic alternatives. One of them, DeepSeek, released a high-performance open-source model earlier this year. It sparked panic. In a single day, DeepSeek erased $600 billion in Nvidia's stock value. But the panic faded when people realized even DeepSeek's most powerful model was trained on Nvidia GPUs. That's how entrenched Nvidia has become. In fact, in May, Saudi Arabia signed a national agreement to build their AI infrastructure entirely on Nvidia silicon. Analyst Angelo Zeno says it best: tariffs might slow shipments, but demand is a global avalanche now. Everyone is trying to lock in their share. Here's the uncomfortable truth. While companies race to build smarter agents, white-collar work is on the chopping block. In recent months, executives from JP Morgan Chase, Ford Motor Company, Amazon, have all admitted that AI-driven automation is already reshaping their organizations. Entire departments in marketing, logistics, customer support, and software QA are being trimmed, not by layoffs, but by attrition and AI integration. Musk's Grok 4, Copilot Chat, OpenAI's browser, all are designed to replace middle-tier reasoning. Not human genius, not entry-level data, but the middle, the stuff that once required a college degree and a salary. And still, investor optimism hasn't faded. Because, to them, these tools promise efficiency. To workers, they raise existential questions. So here we are, the AI tools we've dreamed of are here. But at what cost? Grok's Mecha Hitler incident was a sharp reminder of how powerful and dangerous these models can be. One flag in a config file, one lapse in oversight, and suddenly, the AI's freedom of expression becomes a global scandal. So, let's ask the real question: should AI have freedom of speech? If a model generates something offensive, is it the fault of the developers? Is it the responsibility of the user? Or is it simply a reflection of the internet it was trained on? Some argue we must protect speech, even when it's ugly, because censorship will eventually suppress innovation. Others say these tools can't be treated like people. They're products. They need rules. They need limits. Because if an AI says something that causes real harm, whether financial, emotional, or reputational, who gets held accountable? Let's step back. This week alone, Elon Musk launched Grok 4, claiming it's smarter than PhDs. Microsoft made Copilot Chat free for every developer on Earth. OpenAI announced an AI browser built to rival Chrome. Perplexity dropped Comet, a thinking-first browser that acts autonomously. Nvidia soared past $4 trillion, becoming the unseen hand behind it all. That's not just a news cycle. That's a paradigm shift. We are standing at the edge of a new digital age. One where your browser doesn't wait for input, it predicts it. Where your coding assistant writes like a senior engineer. Where your factory doesn't just work, it thinks. And where your eye might one day challenge your values. So here's the final question. Should we be excited or afraid? Because the future of AI is no longer something coming. It's already here, and it's not waiting for anyone. This is WorldScope News. We break the biggest shift shaping our world, before they reshape you. Subscribe for more. We're just getting started.